Welcome to your Daily Dose of Sunday School, episode 65. Have you ever asked yourself the question, why God doesn't make himself more clearly known? Like, why aren't there big letters in the sky that says, there is a God? I've thought those thoughts before. You think, well, it might make this apologetic task easier if there was someplace I could just point and say, see there? And really that's wrong-headed. That is not understanding the scriptures, and it is not it's really accepting what the fool says and standing on his claims, which are false. So remember, Romans 1. Starting at verse 18, the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. God is angry at man because what they do is push down the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them. It's not hidden. No, we don't need letters written in the sky because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world. So eternal power and divine nature. So the fact that he is infinite in being and perfection, most pure spirit, invisible without body, parts, or passions, immutable, immense, eternal, incomprehensible, almighty, most wise, most holy, most free, most absolute, working all things according to the counsel of his own immutable and most righteous will for his own glory, most loving, gracious, merciful, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth. God's nature is seen in the creation. So every human has true knowledge, but they suppress it. So what does that mean? So, if I was God, right, I would just do this, right? And then I put in the sky, there is a God. This is his name. And what would happen? What would sinful human beings do who don't want to acknowledge me? Well, they would send a plane up there. They would look at those clouds that form those letters that I put into the sky. They would study it scientifically. And based on all the different activities in the atmosphere at any given moment, they would explain this unusual formation of clouds. And there's always going to be physical phenomena surrounding these letters I put in the sky. And so there's always something that the scientists can point to and see, well, that must be why these strange shapes appear in the sky. And then that's what they would tell everybody. And then they would say, well, the primitive people, they thought that this was a message from their space god. And this god was telling them something through these strange shapes. But of course we know it is whatever physical phenomenon that they want to point to as being responsible for the message I put in the sky. That is the sort of things human beings do to suppress the truth. So do not accept what the unbeliever says that God hasn't made it clear. Okay? The agnostic, the atheist, whether you are saying there is no God or whether you're saying, well, it's just not clear enough, you are deceiving yourself on purpose. And that is something that they are guilty for, something that they deserve the wrath of God for, but something that they can come to Christ and escape the judgment they deserve, that's good news that we can give them. Not only trying to point out where they're wrong, but trying to point out that there is a way they can be friends with this God that they've been trying to hide from.